Hello all, thank you for joining my presentation session. I'm Eunjung Park from Suncheon National University. The title of my presentation is The Usefulness of Teacher-Made Authentic Materials for EFL, Vocational High School Students, an Accidental Ethnography. I will begin with introduction and continue with literature, method, preliminary findings, and discussions, and then end with conclusion and implication for research and pedagogy. Textbooks are essential in achieving educational goals in education. Good English materials can help students learn English more efficiently, providing adequate language and content with consideration of student needs and proficiency levels. In the current digital era, a strong command of language is required, and textbooks should function based on individual, societal, and global needs. In this regard, it is argued that the use of authentic materials is effective in helping learners use the target language in real life, increasing their motivation to learn it and making language instruction more meaningful. So, in brief, teacher-made authentic materials are necessary in representing real-life contexts and situations with actual language use. And they increase learner motivation and gain meaningful learning experiences, and including texts, photographs, videos, realia, and multimodal resources and materials to pursue multimodality. Dr. Richards also asserts the importance of using teacher-made authentic materials, such as prepare the language learner for real life, provide necessary information to the language learners, motivation arises in the language learner, encourages teachers to use effective teaching methods, and authentic information helps to teach culture as well. For this study, the underlying theory is CLIL, aka Content and Language Integrated Learning. As you know, it is same as content-based instruction, and it is associated with immersion education. And the bottom line is natural language acquisition occurs in context. CLIL has several characteristics. It provides a context for meaningful communication. It also promotes meaning negotiation for language acquisition. And also, there is a comprehensible input as the key principle in CLIL. And I'd like to talk about accidental ethnography. I hope you've heard or you've known accidental ethnography. Accidental ethnography is a research method for ethnographic research that occurs informally and unintentionally, without any explicit intent of conducting ethnographic studies. Levitan et al. Mentions It is a systematic study of past experiences, including extant data. Accidental ethnography has several characteristics. Researchers immerse themselves in a particular social context, community, or group, and through their everyday interactions, they gain insights into the culture, beliefs, practices, and dynamics of the people they are studying. The term accidental implies that the ethnographic process unfolds spontaneously and opportunistically rather than being deliberately planned or initiated. In accidental ethnography, it can be a valuable approach for understanding cultures and societies, as it allows researchers to gain authentic and unfiltered perspectives from participants. By being embedded in the societal context, researchers can observe and engage with people in their natural environment, capturing nuanced details that may not be accessible through more formal research methods. Another characteristic includes participant observation. Researchers actively participate in the activities of the community they are studying, while simultaneously observing and documenting their experiences. Also, it's possible to develop rich and contextualized understandings of the cultural practices, social structures, power dynamics, and individual experiences within a given community. Of course, it's very important to consider or think about ethical considerations. So, it is necessary to obtain informed consent, and researchers should ensure participant anonymity and confidentiality. And of course, it's very, very essential to respect cultural sensitivities. So, here is the method part. So, the study was conducted a specialized technical or vocational high school in Korea, and there were 5 departments, including electrics, electronics, food processing, machine, and manufacturing. Participants were 400 10th graders, and each class had 40 students. So there were 10 classes, and materials are, as you see, the teacher-made authentic materials. Data sources include semi-structured interviews, teachers' reflection logs, artifacts, and artifacts include lesson plans, pictures, teacher-made materials, and so forth. Thematic analysis and document analysis were used and employed for this study. Normally, document analysis is frequently used for accidental ethnography. The first preliminary finding from this study is synergetic effect of using teacher-made authentic materials in CLIL. This teacher-made authentic material helped increase learner motivation and interest. And also, it was possible to reflect learners' daily lives and career. So these are some examples of teacher-made authentic materials. The material on the left is a recipe, how to make tteokbokki, and students had to know how to make some food and then they had to think about the procedure or process of how to make the food. And the material on the right part is also for the food processing students. And then I provided some food-related technical terms. So I asked about their reactions and responses about using teacher-made authentic materials. And these participants had some positive responses. So S1, the student mentioned, I enjoyed English class. The content was useful and relevant to my career, which was cooking and baking. And the second student also mentioned that he didn't know or like English at all. So he had some negative feelings of English. However, when the teacher taught us cooking terms, he became interested. The material on the right is another example. And then what it is I want them to make their own ice cream recipe. So as you see on the bottom, they drew very colorful and creative ice cream, and then they had some opportunity to present their own flavored ice cream. So this student mentioned he wanted to become a baker, and then he said that he will open a bakery and make ice cream someday. So this activity about drawing and explaining ice cream flavor, it was a very interesting experience to him. Then I also asked their opinions about how to improve this activity and materials. And several students had a really brilliant suggestions and ideas. So, as 3 mentioned, they can learn more career-related words or expressions through this activity. And he said that he wanted to learn more about cooking-related words and expressions. And the second student here also had similar opinions that knowing and learning cooking-related words was a good part. And it was very beneficial for them to learn about cooking-related words. Because he also thought that he wanted to learn these expressions, and maybe someday they can use these terms in a bakery shop or restaurant. And this is from Teacher Reflection Log. And some interesting parts and important parts are like this. It's worth doing so because students are more interested in career-related materials. And so maybe it's very useful and practical to develop more career-relevant materials and use them. Another thing occurred to me that it was so valuable and important to provide some feedback and comments to their work. So I gave some small comments to their writing. And it turned out that it became sort of a dialogue journal. From the preliminary findings, there were some research implications and pedagogical implications. First, here, implications for research. Accidental ethnography can offer unique and valuable insights into diverse cultures and societies. And this method can be a useful way to bridge research and practice that can empower teachers and practitioners to participate in communities of practice. Accidental ethnography involves unplanned immersion and observation of a societal context or community, and it leads to the discovery and analysis of cultural and societal phenomena. Well, it may lack some intentional design of formal ethnographic research, but accidental ethnography can truly offer some unique and valuable insights into different cultures and societies. Pedagogical implications of using teacher-made authentic materials can be like this. Teacher-made authentic materials can support for effective instruction and pedagogy by motivating learners, both learners and teachers, and make them feel like the real use of language. Also, it can lead to proper incorporation of using authentic materials in CLIL, which leads to both language development and understanding of career-related content. Here are some selective references. I appreciate your listening.